Watersound Camp Creek is one of the fastest growing communities here in Center Rose Beach for full-time living, especially over that $3.5 million price range. And in this video, we're gonna talk about exactly why. If you've been following this YouTube channel for quite some time, you know we love to do community updates. We like to talk about market trends. But in this video, I really wanna break down the full process from start to finish, from finding the ideal lot to picking a builder and going through that build process from start to finish. It doesn't have to be a complicated process. Whether you live here in town or if you live out of state, we wanna make that seamless. So by utilizing market knowledge and my connections here in the community, I wanna give you some insider tips on how we're serving clients best right now in Camp Creek. So in this video, we're gonna actually give you a step-by-step on actually how to build your dream home right here in Watersound Camp Creek. I know everybody does a ton of listing videos in the community. I do it as well, but nobody really talks about the behind the scenes insights and actually how to go from point A, finding the ideal lot, to point B, finding the builder, all the way down to the finished product. So that's exactly what we're gonna do today. The very first step is actually make sure Camp Creek is the right neighborhood for you. This is one of the highest entry prices for a rental restricted community, so 0 short-term rentals allowed and long-term leases must be a minimum of 12 months. A community just like this makes a wonderful scenario if you're looking to be close to the east end of 30A, if you want to be walking distance to Alice Beach, Rosemary, Kaya, whatever it may be, and south of Highway 98. Typically along this side, we don't see many short-term restricted neighborhoods, and that's why Camp Creek is such an amazing addition. Another unique characteristics of Camp Creek is that ownership in the community requires membership in their Watersound Club, which is St. Joe's private membership club. But the key thing here is actually tied into your lot purchase price, or if you're buying a spec, it's all tied into that overall price. So there's two ways of thinking about it. If you didn't live in Camp Creek and you wanted to be a member of this club, it's a $75,000 initiation fee. As of now, we're shooting this in July of 2025. I anticipate that's gonna go up and up. So there's two ways of thinking about it. One, it's kind of bundled in with your lot purchase price. So if your lot is $900,000, you can kind of justify some of the prices at $825,000 plus that initiation fee, or you can look at it as a bundle. You bought the lot for $900,000 and now you get this as an added perk. Now this requires an application process and background checks, so it creates a safe family environment, and your membership approval is part of the sales process and must be approved prior to closing. HOA dues are $300 per quarter in Camp Creek, since the monthly membership fees are over $1,000 per month. Lastly, once you understand the community and the HOA, do you like this overall location? Although it would be easy to get to both 38 and Highway 98, this neighborhood is tucked away, offering a calm respite from the daily routine commonly found in our resort location. The community offers convenient golf cart access to the new lifestyle village at the Camp Creek Golf Club, as well as the brand new Watersound Town Center at the Watersound Origins community. All right, next step, we decided we love Camp Creek. Everybody's talking about it. How are we going to finance this? Understanding the financing involved in a lot purchase and obtaining a construction loan is key to know your financial power in your consideration, even before picking out your favorite lot. To finance both the land and the construction of building on it, typically you want to use a construction loan, which is a short-term loan that covers the cost of both the land acquisition and the building materials and labors throughout the construction process. Funds borrowed are typically released in a series of advances or draws to pay for expenses as the building is being constructed. In some cases, a construction loan automatically converts into a long-term mortgage. In other words, a construction to permanent loans. If you're curious on more on this process or on lot loans, I'd love to connect you with some different lenders. Please shoot me an email and I'd love to make that introduction right away. All right, so step number 3, we love the community of Camp Creek. We found the right financing product and the right lender to make this all happen. Our next goal is finding the right lot. So if you and I were doing a tour of Watersound Camp Creek, the first thing to probably catch your attention is the overall scale of these different homes being built into the community. We're not seeing 3,000 square foot homes, we're seeing 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 square foot homes coming into the overall development. But the second thing you'll probably notice, there's still a ton of vacant land left. Watersound Camp Creek has 263 home sites. About 70 of those have been built on so far. But let's talk about what makes vacant land stand out compared to one another. From these drone shots alone so far, you can see the estate size lots ranging from about 1/4 of an acre to nearly an acre, yet remaining in its natural setting. With these large lots, you can fully expect owners to fully optimize their buildable area with an emphasis on extravagant outdoor spaces with pools, cabanas, pool houses, outdoor kitchens, the whole 9. Lots in Camp Creek are mostly build ready, which means utilities and other services are already in place for that lot, packed with dirt, with some improvements such as optional retention walls may be needed to maximize your footprint. Pro tip, there are lots not currently on the MLS and are sold directly through the developer that we can represent you on back in phase 2. On top of this, there are unreleased lots that we can actually offer on, not yet released to the public. Again, if you want more information, make sure you shoot me a text, hop on a call. We can actually talk about all the opportunities that you can't see online. A great question to consider, since this community was created from an existing planted pine plantation, is do you want to back up to HOA preserve, pond, or be close to the amenities gate? We'll get the land surveyed, or if there's a lot already listed on the MLS, typically they do already have a survey that we can actually go through and review up front, which is incredible. But we want to get a survey to fully understand your exact boundaries and what easements exist. A unique thing that a lot of people may not know are the actual setbacks here in Watersound Camp Creek. The reason this is so interesting is because overall we want to consider a privacy when we're looking at anywhere from $3.5 to $7 million builds. And right here, I'm going to pop the setbacks on the screen. Look at these side building setbacks. You have 10 feet from where a structure starts or ends all the way to the actual dimensions of that lot. And one thing to consider is that almost everybody's building these estate-size homes. So with that layout, how can we fully optimize privacy if you're going to have a J-swing garage, kind of having that 10-foot setback to offer the best yard possible? During this time, as we pick out a lot, it's also important to come up with an ideal budget and outline your must-haves for a build. Considering the lot places a big role in how the home may be laid out, and we need to determine if that fits your lifestyle. But it's also your first investment point. So we can look at this in 4 different sections. First, we can look at land costs, the price of the lot, its overall condition, whether it needs to have infrastructure added, like we talked about with the retention wall, to kind of maximize that buildable footprint. Second, construction costs, the cost of building the home, post-construction costs, money for landscaping, furniture, decor, and other optional items. And the fourth and final is financing, the type of loan you'll use, such as a construction loan or construction and permanent loan. So one of my many jobs as a local real estate expert, especially here in Camp Creek, is to help vet different builders. And right behind me is one of the perfect examples, working with Keyline Construction. Right behind me is lot 176 that we sold to the Smith family who's moving here from Ohio down to the beach. We're super excited to have them. But Keyline Construction is a big builder in Watersound origins. And when he came over here to Camp Creek, we really wanted to focus on the overall design, connecting them with an architect, looking at the lot and seeing the best aspects and how to build around it. And they just put the footers, and I'm so excited to see Brian and the Smith family complete this house. You also have the opportunity to choose the builder that best fits your needs from a decent sized list of approved construction companies. St. Joe has a full list of people that they have gone through and vetted that they're given the right to build in this community. With my experience in niche selling new construction homes, I actually went through and narrowed down this list to folks that I've actually vetted myself. So I have a list of builders I love working with through experience, not hypotheticals. If you like my top recommendations, make sure to shoot me a text, email, or give me a call to talk through this. All right, so we found the lot. The next thing to do is find the right builder. We already started having those conversations. This is also the perfect time to continue any questions and answers with a builder. Some of my favorite questions to advise clients to ask are, do you have any existing builds in the community that we can actually tour to understand your craftsmanship and quality of work? Second one, how will we communicate during the custom build process, even especially if you live out of state? This will give you a full scope of the overall financing, timeline, and exactly how the builder is going to charge you for this overall process. A great example of this is a cost plus builder, which is the majority of these in Watersound Camp Creek. They operate on a contract where the client pays the actual cost of materials and labors incurred during the project, plus a set percentage fee for the builder's management fee / profit. Meaning the final price is not fixed upfront and is determined based on the actual cost incurred, unlike a fixed price builder who provides a predetermined total cost for the entire project. And this really just comes down to how many variables there are. There's change orders. There's so many things, especially if you have a home of this size, that a lot of builders like to trend towards that cost plus option. So once we find the ideal builder for the lot that we just purchased, the next thing is to connect with an architect. And now one of the things I like about different builders in Camp Creek is they have preferred architects that we can start the conversation on. But depending on cost factors, we actually went through, again, vetted a ton of different architects to give you guys the best options up front, having that insider knowledge of the overall construction process. But connecting with an architect allows you to build around the best features of the lot. What are the proper design features for the area? Is it functional for resale purposes? Camp Creek does have a design guideline, so it's always beneficial to work with an architect who has given the time to understand everything in the community. The Watersound Camp Creek Design Review Board encourages the development of individual houses that have unique character with whimsical features and tasteful elements that reflect the personality and spirit of the owner. After you lock in the final plans, the next step is to sign your contract with your builder and start the build process. This will include sending the plans through the DRB, the Design Review Board, permitting with Walton County, and then laying that foundation. If you work with me and my team, my main goal is that our services don't just end when we find the ideal lot. I'd love to be there to help you find and have conversations with the right builders. I'd love to have that conversation with you around the best features of the lot and how to work with an architect to fully maximize resale potential. There's so many design things during this entire process that walking through several specs in custom homes, I know what the ideal buyers are looking for, whether that's 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. We want to make sure that we kind of incorporate all that thought processes up front. So from finding the ideal lot in the community to picking the right builder, all the way down to your finished product, building a custom home doesn't have to feel incredibly hard. Whether you live here in town, you can actually drive by and see it every single day, or if you live out of state like we're doing for so many investors right now in Camp Creek. If you like a private tour of the community, or let's say a custom home isn't for you and you want to check out a couple spec builds, make sure you see information below, get in touch with me. I can't wait to see you at the beach soon.